Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yep. Here we go. Good. So first of all, I want to say a massive thank you and a big shout out to Matt. Such a successful business so far, and it's great to see so many people here debating and talking about a topic that is very, very important for our industry. My name's Joe Worswick. I'm the VP of EMEA and APAC for our biodevelopment team. And I've got Jim Michaels, who's come over from the US specifically for this event. There you go. Who leads our strategy and our product team and has been a key part of our partnership with Picnic over the last 12 months. So today I'm going to talk about quality and its connection to performance, which we've heard a little bit about today. And the way I'm going to do that is in three sections. First, I'm going to talk about what OpenX has done specifically to ensure we have the most premium and high quality exchange we believe in the industry. Second, we're going to talk about our partnership with Picnic and the added value they've brought to that conversation and some of the solutions we're taking to market. And then third, we've got a case study with some amazing results about a recent test we did in partnership with Picnic for one of our largest clients. So to kick us off, every year we do a survey. It goes out to a bunch of our partners. We had around 200 respondents this year, and it's across agencies, across brands, and a global remit. Within this survey, we have a bunch of questions, a lot of them touching all the relevant topics that our industry is tackling on a day-to-day basis to really get a temperature check on how our partners feel about it and also what they're doing. And within that, there's always a question which specifically asks, as an SSP, where can we drive the most value for your business? And an outstanding result this year has been around quality. So following the results, we go and do a deeper interview with some of the respondents to get a bit more information on that. And what we started to see was there was two topics, or three, with regards to quality that popped. So the first was around kind of the inventory itself. You know, how do we categorize it? What does it look like? How do we measure it? Then the second was more around how are we accessing it? Are we doing that in the most efficient and effective way? And as a byproduct of that, it was about price. So actually, are we paying the right price for that quality inventory that we're buying in the most effective manner? So price for me is a very interesting topic when it comes to quality. I think across any industry, you tend to associate pay more for it, you're going to get better quality. But I think what that creates is an opportunity for people to game the system. So there's obviously metrics and capabilities around can we start to kind of inflate cost, even though I'm not offering a better product. So what we've been doing is really trying to tackle that in three areas. And for the past year, we've been going out and trying to educate some of the areas that keep you informed, but what are some of the tools and the solutions that by partnering with us and other companies in this area, that you can deliver better performance for your clients in quality environments. And these are the three core areas. Now, MFA, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what that is. We've talked about it for a long time. I think in the last few years, you couldn't read the press without hearing about it. But essentially, that is where environments are intentionally being spun up to hit some of these KPIs that aren't really meaningful when it's about driving significant business change for our clients. The second is more around resellers. So anyone here that's done any form of kind of supply chain analysis or optimization, you'll have your mind blown at actually how many intermediaries could sit in between when you buy an impression and actually it gets served on a publisher's website. So really understanding kind of these lower value resellers and what role they play in your supply chain is very important. The newer one, which we're going around trying to talk about quite heavily, and if anyone wants to hear about this, we've got kind of a workshop and a talk track about it, is around request duplication. Now, I'm not going to get too technical into this, but at a very basic level, it's where there's one ad unit, but once it enters the programmatic ecosystem, it gets multiplied. And the reason it's doing that is it can tend to drive a higher price. But all that means is for the buyer, is you're paying an increased inflated CPM for the ad that's actually there. So at OpenX over the last 10 years, way before I got there, they've been doing a lot around quality. I'll touch on this briefly because I'm conscious about time. But one of the things we really strive to do is not mark our own homework and partner with best-in-breed technologies in the market that can help us achieve these outcomes for our clients. So whether that's working with companies like Pixelate and Tag around specific certification, we've partnered very closely with Jounce when it comes to things like directness of inventory and MFA. And then we looked internally at our own solutions, our own products. About 5 years ago, we really eliminated any resellers that sit within our exchange, but we took it specifically to CTV. Now, if we think about price, it's the highest CPM you're paying for these ad units, huge opportunity for people to make gains there. So we removed any resellers out of our exchange, and then we created an offering called TV by OpenX, which you can be guaranteed there is only a direct route to supply when you're buying any CTV across our exchange. Then a year ago, I was very excited to introduce the Picnic team to our team, and we've been working on understanding how PIQ and the data that sits within that can be ingested into our ecosystem, and we'll go into a bit more details on that on the next slide. So we're very excited to announce the launch of a new product. This is OpenX scoring powered by Picnic. At a very top line level, essentially, we've gone through our exchange. We've looked at the 30,000 top domains across the 20 top regions and started to put a score on that so that anyone can access that information when buying inventory across OpenX. We've seen that it's going across 95% plus of where buyers are buying anyway. So this is a really interesting data point that we can bring to the table for our clients and our buyers to utilize. I'll hand over to Jim now, who's been very heavily involved with the Picnic team on building this product, talk about some of the benefits and the case study.
Great, thanks, Joe. Yeah, what did we build? Together, what we built are curated packages that can be pulled off the shelf and layered with everything that you're doing today in your DSP. And what that means for you is there's no functional changes to the way that you're operating today. Just plug and play on new curated inventory from Picnic and continue to operate the same way you always have. Domain scoring itself is still owned and operated, and its methodology is owned and operated by Picnic. So we're not influencing the signal weighting either. We're just representing the inventory that it connects to. And scoring in tiers are refreshed monthly, and the domain scoring tiers might vary by device type because, as we all know, there's a much different experience on your mobile versus your desktop. At the end of the day, the goal with this was to create a universal framework where we can talk to advertisers and publishers with the same language and the same metrics to get everyone on the same page, because all of these problems exist because we're not on the same page. Now I want to talk through a case study from one of our largest clients. They're a global online e-tailer, and they came to us because they were activating legacy attention deals, non-Lumen, that weren't scaling because of the layering issues that exist in the DSP. When you talk about inclusion lists, first-party data, brand safety vendors, they were having a hard time scaling up their campaign when they needed to spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. They came to us and said, we've got a really lofty goal. We got to deliver 80% video completion rate, and none of our other tactics have done it. What can you do? What better mousetrap can you provide us? And that's where we surfaced Picnic to this client. We recommended they activate across premium PIQ domains that scores a 50 plus, activated through OpenX. And they suggested, can we run this side by side in a head-to-head against another SSP that brands themselves as premium? And can we measure the difference in performance? And we said, absolutely, let's do it. That PIQ deal for premium represents the top 20% of OpenX's scored domains. So they're really getting the cream of the crop in terms of activation across really high quality inventory. The results were pretty staggering. They were more than encouraging. There was a clear correlation between delivering on quality and delivering strong performance. OpenX IQ video deals outperformed that other SSP head-to-head across all of the KPIs that they cared about. We were able to deliver almost 90% video completion rate with 30% more efficient cost per complete and measurably higher quality, something that they'd never been able to measure in the past. So we were able to deliver almost 8 points higher PIQ score for this client and ensure that all of the delivery for their campaign did not cascade down below that premium threshold. In contrast, that other SSP in the head-to-head test delivered over 33% of its budget against lower quality domains, and you can see the difference here in performance. This really validated an internal hypothesis that we brought to Picnic all the way back when we started talking to them, which was when large site lists are broadly targeted and not tiered by quality, the DSP is going to be prejudiced to deliver on those lower cost inventory. And so by delivering against a tighter set of inventory through the PIQ deals, we were able to pull performance up and lift all tides. The bottom line here is that results demonstrate that IQ can provide the inventory intelligence that DSP bidders need to prioritize spend on higher quality environments, something that they're not accustomed to doing. And that allows us to drive better outcomes, which we can now confidently deliver in partnership with Picnic. This client also mentioned, just for the record, that the block rate for Double Verify when they leveraged this brand safety vendor was 0.2%, not 2%, not 20%, but 0.2. And they said that is the lowest block rate we've ever seen on a programmatic campaign since we've been activating in this DSP. So even though Picnic is not a brand safety product, being able to deliver on those premium environments is inherently a safer bet for these clients. And so it really instilled confidence that this activation mechanism for them was the right way to go. And this wasn't just a one-off. This has become a sticky evergreen tactic for this client. They've delivered over $2 million since the end of June in media delivery against PIQ deals out of nowhere. So what are the takeaways here? Where in the past, buyers have relied on vanity or subjective perception to target premium inventory, we can now objectively measure the quality of a user experience and factor in the maturity of a publisher to determine quality. And the coolest part is we're not just measuring it, we're benchmarking the open web along the way so that we know which domains embody quality and can make better recommendations for curation to our clients. That means we know which domains are worth avoiding and which domains truly offer that premium experience that's going to drive outcomes. Really importantly too, we now possess a shared framework because of PIQ to talk to buyers and publishers about quality so that everyone is on the same page. Other market solutions leave modeling and curation up to the end users and individual clients. Picnic has given us a way to activate with curation today and stay ahead of the pack on the quality game compared to our competition. And ultimately, we're able to now consult publishers as well to improve their site networks and provide them with concrete changes they can make so that they can capture more of the premium demand that our advertisers continue to say is really important for their activation.
Thank you very much, Joe and Jim. I do have one question for you. It's around the role of the SSP in the future of the industry. We're hearing a lot about how supply-side signals are happening, sell-side curation. What do you see the role of the SSP over the next 2 to 3 years?
So I think what we've seen is people are taking stances of trying to go one way or the other. I think the question more is what value can you offer? And I think the SSP sits in a very interesting space. So the reason I moved to this side, if you want to say from the buy side to close to the sell side, I've always seen there is so much valuable data that is hard to access and hard to utilize. And we've talked about whether that's resource or cost restraints. I really believe that the SSP can play a valuable role in surfacing that data in easy ways to better utilize that for the buy side and the sell side. So yeah, that's my personal opinion on it. It's a real untapped area that we can really start to surface in a more effective manner.
Amazing. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Jim. Thank you so much.